Am I gonna slap it a basil?
Good, right?
Yeah.
Welcome back to Treadway Makes Drinks. And today we're talking about herbs. Using fresh herbs in cocktails just adds a brightness that brings them to life. It brings that fresh spa-like feeling where you feel like all tingly and you need that bright aroma as part of the experience. So definitely using fresh ingredients is always better. Of course, there are delicious things like green chartreuse, which is made with 130 different herbs and spices. And that's delicious and tasty, and it's gonna add an herbal component to your cocktail, but it's not gonna have the freshness, and it's definitely not gonna have that bright aroma. Whether it's a mojito, or you wanna taste the garden with a little bit of pea shoots, or you wanna have a fun take on a margarita with like cilantro and jalapeno. It's a lot of fun playing with fresh herbs. So we're gonna start with a basil smash. Taking some fresh basil, and a lot of times people think they need to like muddle things up and really smash it up. But honestly, if you're shaking a drink with ice in there, that's gonna do all the bruising and breaking up of the herb that you need. I'm just going to put it right in the bottom of my tin. I'm adding some fresh lime juice, some simple syrup, and some gin. So we're gonna shake with ice. And as I said, that shaking is gonna break up the basil and get it in the cocktail. So you gotta shake with a little bit of energy, shaking to wake it up, not put it to sleep. Now that we have a nice, cold, refreshing drink, we need to strain it into a glass. Now, I hate pulp. I hate pulp. I can't, orange juice with pulp, absolutely not. Get that out of here.
Not in my house.
So if I were to just pour this drink in, you'd have little bits. All, you know, getting your teeth and nauseating. Now, if you strain with just like a typical Hawthorne strainer, you're gonna get some of the bits out, but a lot of them are still gonna come through. Yeah, little bits. So we're not gonna do that. Instead of just using a simple strainer, you're gonna wanna find yourself one of these. This is a fine mesh tea strainer. Any type of tea strainer is gonna work. You can use the small kind, slightly bigger colander, whatever you have at your house, or you can order these online. But when you strain that in, see, I've collected all the little bits. And now I have a nice, clean cocktail. This looks like a beautiful smash, except it needs a garnish. It needs that fresh basil on the nose, getting you excited, inviting you into the drink. So what am I gonna do? Am I gonna slap the basil?
Please don't do that.
No! When you slap the basil, it tears up, it rips up, it's all a mess. For you bartenders out there who do it all the time, I know you do, you're just doing it to like be like, hey, look at me, look at what I'm doing. Remember, bartending is not about you. Bartending is about your guest. Focus on your guest. Don't make it a show about yourself. So, you do not slap the basil. It becomes shredded mess. And if I put that on top of a cocktail, that looks like trash. Pure trash. So instead, you are going to take your basil and you are just going to press it. This gets the job done that slapping is supposed to do, which is break the cell wall of the herb so that you get that bright aroma, so when the drink is close to someone's face, they smell all that delicious basil and they're excited for the drink. We taste with our eyes first, so it's important for the basil to look good. You don't want a crappy piece of basil on top of your drink. You want a beautiful little bouquet of aroma. So you smell that basil and you're like, good grief, what am I about to sip? Gin basil smash. we're making a rosemary bee's knees. So just gonna go right in. The shaking is gonna take care of muddling that up. I'm using this Mahon gin from Spain. Has a kind of salty savoriness to it that goes really well with that rosemary. Some fresh lemon juice. And some honey syrup. Side note, heard me say honey syrup. Just for you home bartenders out there, it's super easy to just mix equal parts honey and hot tap water. Stir that around until it dissolves into one liquid. You can store that, keeps for a long, long time, and it's way easier to use than trying to squeeze out like raw, thick honey. All right, gin, lemon, and honey. We're gonna shake that up with some rosemary. Again, I'm gonna double strain this cocktail. You might notice bartenders double straining lots of their cocktails, and that's because it's also straining out any little bits of ice. When you shake up a cocktail, you're gonna have a lot of little crystals, and personally, I like a crisp, clean experience on the palate, and those little bits, I hate pulp, what can I say? So now for a garnish of fresh rosemary, we're gonna get super cutesy on this one. Of course, I could just leave that on the side and hope it balances, but I have these tiny little clothespins, so why don't I just press it on there. And again, I just gave the rosemary a little squeeze to release the oils, and now you have a rosemary bee's knees. Cheers. Oh, fuck yeah. There it is. There it is. Herbs, they're delicious.